All right, so let's move on. Now, water is one of those things that I think we take for granted, right? It comes out of the tap. We trust that our states and municipalities are doing a good job of getting the bad stuff out. You know, we hear about things like Flint, Michigan, but they're doing a good job in our part of the state or wherever. The reality is nothing could be farther from the truth. Among other things, and I'm not going to go into everything because it is literally like this. I was like, my brain was exploding as I was going through this. But here's what could be in your water. Most municipalities put fluoride into the water. So we're drinking a neurotoxin. Why? Because they say that it'll help reduce cavities. I couldn't find any evidence that it actually did that. Chlorine, which is fun, that turns into hydrochloric acid in your gut. Lead, which is toxic to almost every organ and developmental issues. It's linked to autism, all that stuff. We have pipes that are, rusting out from the inside. Things like that happen at Flint. They're happening all over the country. Mercury, PCBs, which are just these industrial chemicals that, are very toxic. Arsenic. The list keeps going on and on. They just had a research from Harvard that just found the industrial chemicals PFAS is linked with cancer, other health problems, where it exceeded federal safe drinking levels in 33 states. Now, if that's not bad enough, let's just watch this quick video from our good friends at CNN.
Really, whether you need it or not, it's a virtual medicine cabinet in your tap water if you live in many, many areas across the country. There's a scary new report out today. The Associated Press did a big amount of research on this, and the findings show that there were traces of prescription drugs in the water supply used by 41 million Americans in some of the biggest cities in the U.S. The list includes over-the-counter pain medication, mood stabilizers, even hormones. CNN's Elizabeth Cohen joins us now from the Medical Update Desk in Atlanta. First, explain where they found it and what it is that they found, Elizabeth.
Well, the Associated Press, Karen, they spent 5 months investigating this, and they looked at various municipal water supplies. Not all of them keep track of whether or not they're pharmaceuticals, but the ones that do, they all had traces of various medicines. I'm going to give you a list. This will give you some idea of the kinds of things that they found. For example, in Atlanta, where I am right now, they found that the water contained traces of antibiotics, blood pressure drugs, in Cincinnati, cholesterol drugs. They found a trace of one of those, and estrogen that women sometimes take for medicinal reasons. And in New York City, they found a trace of a seizure drug and an anti-anxiety drug. Now, to give you sort of the big picture, how many drugs did they find in the drinking water? In Philadelphia, they found trace amounts of 56 different drugs. In New York City, they found traces of 16 drugs, and in northern New Jersey, 13 drugs. Now, the question that right now is on everyone's mind is, how in the world did drugs get into our drinking water? Well, it's not very pretty, and I'll give you the sort of sanitized version. We all take drugs, and our body does not absorb 100% of everything. Some of it passes through our body, ends up in sewage. Sewage is then treated and ends up back in the water system. Of course, the next question is, well, what about bottled water? Well, I hate to sound so pessimistic here. Bottled water often just is repackaged tap water. And that doesn't help us much at all either. Or even sometimes if it's spring water, it could still possibly contain these trace amounts. Humans basically have an impact everywhere.
Wow. I get sick to my stomach thinking about that. So what do? My suggestion is get an under the sink reverse osmosis filter system. You want to get at least a 5-stage system. There's ones that go up to 10 stages. You just want to make sure that there's, the carbon and charcoal filters as well as reverse osmosis. And since you're taking all the minerals out, it's nice to have like a 6-stage, which put some of the minerals back in the water that alkalizes them a little bit. Okay, sounds like this real big thing, right? $200 or less, you can get them on Amazon, and it'll remove 99% of the crap that's in the water. So, does that just blow your mind? I mean, it kills me. Okay, so let's dive into shopping, walking around the store, and reading labels.